March 10th, for those of you who don't know. Anyway, coming to you live from northern Israel, where the Syrian front of Israel is not what it normally is these days. Since the Assad regime fell, Israel has been actively doing things inside of Syria, and that's because it wants to make sure it keeps away the new forces in power from approaching the Israeli border and doing crazy things, which they are quite possibly likely to do. The reason for that is because the new forces in charge of Syria are basically Al Qaeda or ISIS, whatever you want to call them. They're just a derivation of those things. And the current interim so-called president of Syria, a guy who used to go by the name Al-Golani or Al-Julani, now goes by Sabah or whatever. He now he wears a suit and tie, or doesn't wear his typical combat garb because he wants to appeal to Europeans, which is very effective. And he's convinced a lot of them that he's not some extremist, even though he clearly is. His forces have been engaged in battle with people who used to be part of the Assad regime. And in recent days, his forces have slaughtered more than 1,000, mostly Alawite Syrians. The Alawites were the leading tribe that were in charge of Syria under the Hafez Assad and Bashar Assad regimes for the past, more than 60 years or so, or 50 to 60 years. And they've butchered them. They literally made them crawl on the ground and bark like dogs before executing them. And have just committed horrible acts of terrorism and crimes against humanity. And once again, where's the outrage from the so-called left that finds anything that Israel does to be, genocide. But when Syria is literally going through a very difficult period right now, and you have actual crimes against humanity, once again, by extremist Muslims, not a word. I'm not saying the Assad regime is great. No, they were terrible. And the military forces that they had were also terrible. But that doesn't mean that I wish genocide upon them. Right? That doesn't mean that I wish to mass butcher them. Right? Their guy left power. They ran away from their posts. And the new guy in charge said, no, we're not gonna spill blood. We want to live in peace with all Syrian people. And then what did they do? They proceeded to spill blood. So Israel, meanwhile, has interests in protecting the Druze population of southern Syria, because there are Druze, obviously, in Israel, and the Druze feel very connected to their Druze counterparts, brothers and sisters, cousins, and family in Lebanon and in Syria. And those that are in Syria right now, many of them close to the border with Israel, are quite scared, and they've been arming themselves to prepare for battle against those HTS terrorists who are now in charge of Syria. And Israel has also said in the last 24 hours or so, they publicized an announcement by the Defense Ministry. I think Minister of Defense Israel Katz, said that, in baby steps, basically starting with a few dozen people and possibly expanding to hundreds, if not thousands of them, Druze will be allowed soon to begin working in agriculture and in construction in the Golan Heights, which is actually a great way to build economic ties with people who live in Syria, and specifically the Druze population. Am I hunting? No, I'm fishing. Why? Speak German? I don't speak German. Well, not very well. I can sing you some operas in German, but I don't speak German. Anyway, so Israel is going to allow the Syrian Druze to work in Israel, which actually I think is a fantastic way to build economic ties with those people and to enrich the cultural ties that Israeli and Syrian Druze have together with the Israeli population in the Golan Heights. And overall, that's a positive development, in my opinion, and hopefully one that we'll see expand so that we can have more peace and stability in the area of the Golan Heights and southern Syria. Anyway, that'll do it for now. That's a quick update for you. And yeah, there you go. Keep watching this channel for more interesting updates. Cheers.